Welcome to Consume Responsibly, my mini-series of contemplative reviews talking about the aesthetic, ethical, and rhetorical value of some novels that have gained a lot of attention on TikTok in the last couple years. Too easily are we able just to consume without thinking, and we want to make sure that we're doing so responsibly, and this is a way of responsibly interacting with the media we're consuming. So the first novel that I want to talk about is Jacqueline Harpman's I Who Have Never Known Men. Literally everyone is talking about this novel, and for very good reason. I Who Have Never Known Men was originally published in 1995 and translated from French to English in 1997. It wasn't until 2019 that it was republished, so it hasn't been in print since 1997. Some summary for you. 40 women are locked in a cage underground in this post-apocalyptic world. The unnamed narrator of the novel is the youngest of these 40 women, and she has no memory of the outside world before this cage. So she's slowly trying to, through the memories of these other women, gain knowledge about the outside world. And in that process, she discovers a skill that offers her sanity, offers these other women's sanity, and might also be the key to their escape. Now, the question is always, is Book Talk delusional again, or do they have a really great novel on their hands? And thankfully, it's the latter. Being very picky about books myself, I loved this book. Loved it. And I'll tell you why. First of all, it's written so well. If I could describe this book in an anecdote, I would explain that I rarely sit down and read books now, like flipping through pages. I have to listen to audiobooks and be able to do something else. I have brain rot, unfortunately, professionally diagnosed. So the prose is easy. It's easy to understand. It's plain, but it's still very contemplative of big philosophical ideas, and it still evaluates large concepts while not getting too broad and too vague and too big for itself. It fits perfectly. Aesthetically, this novel is written so well. The prose is bleak and unforgiving, and it's raw and it's honest, but it still knows how to explain big philosophical contemplations about survival and friendship and companionship and, why we try to stay alive. What are we living for? I think it really knows how to filter ideas through the perspective of our very uneducated narrator. She has no experience in the outside world, so not only do we not know what really happened in this post-apocalyptic world, in the beginning, you don't really understand how we got to the point where 40 women are locked in this bunker, but she doesn't know either. And so you're trying to learn with them while still knowing about the outside world and watching her learn about your world while you don't know her world. Even though there are no chapter breaks or parts to tell the passing of time, it's still very clear how time passes, either through paragraph breaks or the narrator telling you. And time itself is a really big motif for the novel in terms of our ability to control life. Our telling of time is that process. And this novel does such a great job of creating these symbols that understand human, universal motives and survival instincts. Even though, like I said, this book is miserable, it's just full of misery, it still understands universal human values, and it's rooted in our ability to understand each other and to understand nature and our interaction with both of those things. And it creates the perfect second world. If you don't know what a second world is, it's a literary term for that imaginary space where humans go to solve their problems or discover themselves. It's novels, it's poetry, it's plays, it's how we decipher how characters are reflections of reality, that sort of thing. And this novel creates the perfect second world to evaluate our drive to live, our motivation to keep going. And it puts us in the most dire of realities, the worst timeline, but the air and ambiance of it is so enticing to understand ourselves, and it's a mirror back at you the whole time. Rhetorically, I fear a lot of people have dismissed this novel as sort of far left feminist commentary on men not existing, and I can't express how far from the truth that is. This is not about gender in really any sense of the word. It's about mankind as a whole, humanity and all of its dark and cruel ways. It's about humanity's indomitable spirit and our desire for civilization and purpose. And if you chalk it up to a gender commentary, you are poorly mistaken. One of the themes of this novel that is so great is the pursuit of knowledge. The narrator knows nothing about the outside world, so she relies on these other women to tell her what the outside world was like. And they are painfully reluctant to tell her. They think the knowledge is useless. If you're not going to be out there, why know about it? And she disagrees. She thinks that knowledge is always useful, even about useless things. Our narrator has that raw pursuit for knowledge that we should all strive for. Another characteristic of our narrator that I just love is her anger. So many sci-fi or dystopian novels will have a protagonist, especially female protagonists, that are just so passive. They're just letting the things happen to them, and it's awful, but that's all I can do. And the action is driven by somebody else, and I participate in it. Not this time. She is acting, she is doing, she is propelling the action as fast as she can, and it is a whirlwind. I'll give you a quote that just demonstrates this to its core. She writes, "I thought it was unfair, and then I understood that alone and terrified, anger was my only weapon against the horror." She explains that knowledge and emotions are those tools of humanity to navigate the world at its worst. This novel knows how to evaluate all ranges of human emotion in these circumstances, covering grief and anger and pettiness, desire, desperation, indifference, and so much more. A whirlwind of human thought in the worst possible world we could imagine. Now, to talk about the Christian or ethical aspects of this novel, I have to be very clear. This novel is relatively godless. He's not spoken of. He's not discussed. And you'd think that religion would be a pretty big topic in a world like this. Do we depend on religion in moments of severe pain or strife? But she doesn't talk about him. Harpman does not bring up God, very rarely brings up religion at all. There are a few aspects in cases or instances of death where they sing religious hymns, but even then, he's just not there. And while I wholly and entirely disregard a world that can't account for God and, the creator of the universe, I will say that I can almost appreciate a novel that doesn't destroy him. It's actually too common that our novels are disrespecting God that I would rather they pretend to just not acknowledge him. And maybe that's evil of me, but I do think I would rather my God be ignored than disrespected. That's not to say that the novel doesn't have plenty of room to discuss these things. I mean, the novel is discussing things like euthanasia and mortality, morality, authority, and even sexuality, and somehow it remains relatively neutral on religion. I think it's more about the science of humanity and our sort of internal spirit than it is about the methods we use to understand it. Now, do I genuinely believe you can talk about that without addressing God? No. So this is kind of its one failing moment, is where I think it doesn't take a take on God. It misses that mark. I will mention that the sexuality is actually a decently large point. I wouldn't say it's a plot point or anything like that, but there is some emphasis on the fact that several of the women find solace in one another and they make couples amongst themselves. It's neither praised nor demeaned. Again, very neutral. The aspects of the novel that aren't neutral are the things that are being done against these women. Of course, those are awful, and it is clear that those are awful. But on the flip side, she takes a rather neutral perspective on these broader, bigger ideas, because when survival is the question, survival is what's at stake, questioning euthanasia, I don't know if it's that important. And that's where you get to like that base, that root of humanity, and that's when you begin to understand what's like really deep rooted inside of us, those instinctual actions. In conclusion, it's a great novel. It's a gem of a novel. I mean, there's so many World War II fiction that I don't think should be taught in schools. I don't think it should be read a lot because it's just end up being like weirdly anti-God and weirdly anti-humanity. This one's not. In its like kind of double sense, it's like, oh, look what humanity's capable of against each other, and look what it's capable of enduring. Look what it's capable of, surviving. It is a great science fiction novel. It knows how to create a world. It knows how to like suck you into it and just really entice you. And it creates a really good relationship between nature and environment and the human psyche. This novel has such great commentary on humanity's need for things like companionship and sanity and order, purpose, and community. And it just is a really good peek into the brain of a human at its worst environment possible. And I love this novel. I can't wait to reread it soon. It's one of those novels that you pick up a pen because you're like, oh, this is really good, I want to annotate it. And then you end up so enthralled by it that you forget to annotate it. That's how good it is. So I definitely recommend this novel for responsible consumption. It's great. Responsibly consume this now. Thank you.